What's up YouTube? It's me, Jess, and I'm an opera singer. Today's video is going to be a performance analysis of Todrick Hall featuring Pentatonix performing The Wizard of Ahhs. Let's go.
Shoes. Don't want no short man. Let's get some shoes. Shoes. Don't want no short man. I got my ticket for the long way round.
Nice.
2 bottle whiskey for the way. And I sure would like some sweet company. And I'm leaving tomorrow, what do you say?
A tornado flew around my room before you came. Excuse the mess I made. It usually doesn't rain in Southern California, much like Arizona. My eyes don't shed tears, but boy they ball when I'm thinking about you. You know, no. I've been thinking about you. You know, no. I've been thinking about you. Do you think about me still? Do you got a first aid kit? Do you know how to patch up a wound? Tell me, are you patient, understanding? Cause I'ma need some time to clear the hold in my heart. And I've tried every remedy and nothing seems to work for me. Damage. I thought that I should let you know that my heart is damaged. So damaged. And you can blame the one before.
Yes.
I can't be tamed.
So good.
I cannot be.
I knew you were trouble when you walked in.
Nice.
So shame on you now. Take me to places I've never been. You're just a lion on the cold hard ground.
City, please, doing something mean to it. Do it better than anybody you ever seen. Do it, screams from the haters. Got a nice ring to it. I guess every superhero need his theme music. No one man should have all that power. The clock's ticking, I just count the hours. Stop tripping, I'm tripping off the power. 21st century schizoid man.
Don't want no money. I like your beard. Just want those shoes.
Nice.
Ain't no wizard that can save you from the witch of the west side. I'll get you and your little dog too, cause there ain't no place you can hide. Show me your feet. Show them to me.
Now I'm lying on the cold hard ground.
You know I'm a dreamer, but my heart's a cold. I had to run away, so I wouldn't come home though. I'm on my way.
too far from where you are. I wanna go home. And now
I'm on my way.
Oh, yes.
I'm on my way home, sweet home. Tonight, tonight, I'm on my way. I'm on my way home, sweet home.
Somewhere over the rainbow.
Thank you for watching The Wizard of Ahhs.
Yes.
I'm Todrick Hall, and
So nice, so nice. Okay, I'm just so curious the behind the scenes on how this all came about, who came up with what. I just thought that the song selection for the unfolding of the plot, the unfolding of the story was so well thought out. There are a bajillion songs out there, and to find the one that fits perfectly as the story progresses is a talent in and of itself. So I want to look at the journey of Dorothy just in this music video, because there's a lot more, of course, that goes on in the movie. But the journey of Dorothy and the songs that were picked throughout her journey so that we can really compartmentalize and break this down even more. We're not going to discuss how long it took me to find all of the songs in this composition, especially considering all of the titles were so neatly laid out on the sheet music. But I didn't realize that. We're going to look at the different sections within the song and briefly talk about some of them and deep dive into others. By bar 2, we have flat 3 and flat 7, which is F sharp and C sharp. As you can see on the very first beat, we have F natural in the soprano, and we have C natural in the tenor. For me, what's interesting about this bar is the use of tritones. You can see a tritone in the soprano as well as in Todrick's line, where it's going from a B natural to an F natural. And then we get a second tritone going from D natural to G sharp. And there's also 2 tritones in Mitch's line and Scott's line. The tritone happens in the same place, but we are going from F sharp to C natural, and then we are going from A to D sharp. I think this use of tritones is super interesting, especially in this 2-bar phrase that's repeated twice. Essentially, you have this one bar where you feel like you're at home. Then you get confusion. So it's home, confused, home, confused. Then we move into this part that is just a 2-bar quick transition into the first song, Somewhere Over the Rainbow. Remember in the beginning, we had home, confused, and now we're in this transition part. This transition part does bring about some familiarity because you are getting that dominant feeling. And then finally, you get this forward drive. Now we're at Somewhere Over the Rainbow. I love the use of straight tone here. There are some words or syllables that have 2 beats, and I love how it seems the majority of these notes have straight tone, and when vibrato is incorporated, it's more towards the end of the note. And that is very common to do in musical theater and pop. In classical, most likely you would start the vibrato from the very beginning, especially in the later periods. I also love how the very first note, some, for the word somewhere, was completely in straight tone, and it's for 2 beats. And I really love how the vibrato came through on the syllable where, and really came through also on the syllable bow for rainbow. Oh, I thought that was so nice. Very subtle. Now we get to Blown Away, and this is where we get some movement and action within the composition. And I love how this piece totally interrupts the piece before, and all by one syllable. So we get la la, and we don't get the last syllable by, and instead it's like the composition said, bye to that part, hello to this new part, Blown Away by Carrie Underwood.
There's a land that I heard of once in a lullaby. Shatter every window till it's all blown away.
I love the dynamic change in this section. In the part before, Somewhere Over the Rainbow, you get more play on the piano, mezzo piano parts of the voice. And then when we move into this, that sudden interruption, we have really moved into more of a mezzo forte dynamic.
There's a land that I heard of once in a lullaby. Shatter every window till it's all blown away.
I thought that was really nice, especially considering what is happening within the story. I also love how in the beginning of this part, you don't get a bass or the beatbox. You don't get Avi or Kevin in this part. I think it adds this openness to this section.
There's a land that I heard of once in a lullaby. Shatter every window till it's all blown away.
And then when we do get Avi and Kevin, I love their rhythm together. So we have Avi who was singing on the beats 1, 2, and 3, 4. So he's singing on beats 1, the and of 2, and also on beat 4. Then we get Kevin who is beatboxing on beats 1, 2, and 4. What those two parts sound like together. Avi will be the right hand, and Kevin, the beatboxer, will be the left hand. 1, 2, and 3, and 4. 1, 2, and 3, and 4. 1, 2, and 3, and 4.
There's a land that I heard of once in a lullaby. Shatter every window till it's all blown away. Every brick,
I don't know. I just love this part, and I love how they came together and added this tension within the rhythm during this part of the story. Wide Awake. Okay, next we have Wide Awake, and I love how this part incorporates two melodies. They're just intertwined with each other. You have Katy Perry's Wide Awake, and then you do get some lines from Carrie Underwood's Blown Away. Lyrically, I think these two songs put together really paint the picture of a natural disaster. But then compositionally, I feel like the feeling of chaos is really at the forefront. With especially the bass and the beatbox, you get this inner feeling of pandemonium, chaos, a lot going on. And that has to do with the quick rhythm, the syncopation, and the emphasis of the offbeats.
blown away. Every brick, every board, every slamming door, blown away. Blown away. Shatter every window till it's all blown away. Tonight.
Now we've moved to Lollipop, and I thought the part that came just before this was so clever to transition into this, and it was just the words, I'm wide awake, from Katy Perry's song. I thought in terms of how the story really is progressing in this moment, those lyrics were just so genius here. I see Dorothy's path in 3 big sections. You have the first part where there's the home and the natural disaster. Then you have Dorothy going on her journey through Wizard of Ahhs, and then you have the end where she wants to go home and she returns home. So this next section where she says, I'm wide awake, and we are transitioning into Dorothy's second big phase within this movie. Oh, I'm wide awake, I think is just the perfect words to show that we're in a new environment and we're going to introduce this new part of Dorothy's path. So this next part, if I'm being completely honest, this is probably my least favorite part in this composition. I had to look this up because I had no idea where this was coming from. I found this random song on YouTube with over 70 million views. A song by a gentleman named Liam Kyle Sullivan. All I have to say is if you really want to test your patience, go listen to that song. And then the next song, Short Man, yeah, we're just gonna move on. Okay, next part, Cup Song. I love how they kept this simple. I was so happy to hear the simplicity in this part. Just the cup rhythm and the melody. I think melodically this piece was so well written. I do wish the final consonants of some of the words in this composition was emphasized a bit more, especially on the words round and wood and sweet, the final D's and the final T's.
I got my ticket for the long way round, 2 bottle whiskey for the way, and I sure would like some sweet company, and I'm leaving tomorrow, what do you say?
I do love the way she sang the word leavin'. So the second syllable of the word leavin' is a bit longer than the first syllable. And I love how she sat on that N before going into the final words. Really nice touch.
I got my ticket for the long way round, 2 bottle whiskey for the way, and I sure would like some sweet company, and I'm leaving tomorrow, what do you say?
Oh, this next transition, Thinkin' About Ya. Okay, the Cup Song ends and we get to Thinkin' About Ya by Frank Ocean. And the transition for this is just the sound of the wind. And I thought, so simple, but so genius and so clever, especially considering the words that are going to come.
And I sure would like some sweet company, and I'm leaving tomorrow, what do you say?
A tornado flew around my room.
A tornado flew around my room before it came, and you get, I don't know. It's just me being a weirdo. Then also, I think the song was a great match for not only this section in terms of where we are within the story, but also so fitting for Scott's voice. Scott has a more, I would say, soulful voice of the group, and he really does like to play around with riffs and runs. A match made in heaven with this. When thinking about this song, the melody and the grammar together, picking where you would breathe can be pretty tricky. I personally love Scott's first breath choice. So he sings, "A tornado flew around my room before you came. Excuse the mess it made. Breath, it usually doesn't rain." I like how he took a breath after the word made.
A tornado flew around my room before you came. Excuse the mess it made. It usually doesn't rain.
So when looking at the lyrics grammatically, there are a few options you can choose where you can put a sentence and take a breath. AKA, you could take a breath if you were just speaking this text. However, the melody makes it extremely difficult to take breaths in those places. Super interesting, and what would make sense if you thought about the melody and the grammar together is if you don't take a breath all the way up until Arizona, which is really hard. And the phrase is a bit difficult because of the leaps and jumps in and out of mixed voice or head voice or chest voice into mixed voice. Last thing I want to mention about Thinking About Ya is what happens on the words ball to when I'm. I love the difference of notes in this melody versus the original.
It usually doesn't rain in Southern California, much like Arizona. My eyes don't shed tears, but boy, they ball when I'm thinking about you.
The words ball when I'm for this melody go ball when I'm. I love that jump from the last note of ball to when I'm, which is just a perfect fit down, but it's different enough to make it a cover and make it different than the original. Damaged. Okay, I think this is one of my favorite transitions, and mainly because of lyric harmony. You have the last words from the song Thinking About Ya also just so happen to be the first words in the song for Damaged.
My eyes don't shed tears, but boy, they ball when I'm thinking about you. You know, no, I've been thinking about you. You know, no, I've been thinking about you. Do you think about me still? Do you got a first aid kit handy?
I love that. I just want to know how long it took to think about this, because that is just so genius, so nice. I also think that the words to this song fit, in terms of the words in its entirety, fit the best in this part of the story. Oh, I thought it fit so nicely. First, we have to look at the movie. So in the movie, which I haven't seen in so long, Dorothy and the Scarecrow approach the Tin Man. They're asking him a bunch of questions like, what do you need? Where do you need oil? And all of these questions. And I thought that idea paired with this song was so nice, because the beginning of the song is asking questions.
Do you got a first aid kit handy? Do you know how to patch up a wound? Tell me, are you patient, understanding?
And all of these questions, I think, go along with this idea of the Tin Man needing help. I just thought the pairing of this was so nice. And Mitch's voice for this part is divine. It's so good. I love how he made the separation in the first line.
Do you got a first aid kit handy?
That separation between first aid kit handy was so nice. And as part of the Tin Man's line, before he gets oil, he has a rough time with his movements. Not everything moves in a smooth manner, and that can't happen until he gets some oil. And I thought just that pairing with this was... Last part about this section, the are you. Oh, I thought that was so nice.
Do you got a first aid kit handy? Do you know how to patch up a wound? Tell me, you.
So it goes from E sharp to A sharp, E sharp to A sharp, then U is on F sharp. First, the jumps of the perfect fifth down, and then the leap up to the minor sixth, the A sharp to the F sharp.
Do you got a first aid kit handy? Do you know how to patch up a wound? Tell me, you.
Oh, I just thought that was so nice. Again, a nice way to make this a cover. Also very clever how they all came together on the word heart, which is such an important word for the Tin Man. If only I had a heart.
Do you got a first aid kit handy? Do you know how to patch up a wound? Tell me, are you patient, understanding? Cause I'ma need some time to clear the hole in my heart.
Can't be tamed. Avi. I love the way he says the word tamed. You can really hear the t and you can really hear the duh. For the consonant T, you can hear the most subtle, the slightest pause.
I thought that I should let you know that my heart is damaged, so damaged, and you can blame the one before.
I can't be tamed, I can't be tamed.
And to me, this says a lot about his artistry. Was just enough time to where you could hear it, but it wasn't too long to where it was too much. The only time you didn't really hear the final D was when he hit that low note.
And you can blame the one before.
I can't be tamed, I can't be tamed, I can't be I cannot be.
I'm personally not putting the word at the forefront. I'm figuring out how I can get the note out, and whatever vowel is the best vowel to utilize resonance and to get the note out, that is what comes at the forefront. So the next section is I Knew You Were Trouble by Taylor Swift. I'm not familiar with the song, so I did look up the lyrics. There is something very clever happening here, and Pentatonix and Todrick Hall, I see you. Okay, so the final line of the lyrics by Taylor Swift goes, "Now I'm lying on the cold, hard ground." But for this section, I Knew You Were Trouble, where Dorothy is talking to the lion, saying he's nothing but trouble. Her final line is, "You're just a lion on the cold, hard ground."
I cannot be.
I knew you were trouble when you walked in. So shame on you now. Took me to places I've never been. You're just a lion on the cold, hard ground.
Just so smart, and it's the small things that make all the difference. Now I want you to remember the original lyrics by Taylor Swift, because they're going to come back, and they're going to come back in such a clever way as well. Next, we transition to Power, and I thought this was so smart to use. I loved how this was used as a rap section instead of a melodic song section. I think for me that makes this part stand out and puts an emphasis on the character, which is so important. It's the title of the song. I also thought that Todrick's performance in this, his pronunciation was great.
I'm living in the Emerald City, please. Doing something mean to it. Do it better than anybody you ever seen. Do it. Screams from the haters. Got a nice ring to it.
And in this section with Todrick Hall, he says, "I'm living in that Emerald City, please." Nice wordplay. This next section, I have never heard this song. It's Teeth by Lady Gaga. I have to say, I need to give a lot of props to Kristen, who is playing Dorothy in the beginning and who is now playing the Wicked Witch of the West. The two characters are so different, especially and mainly in the way they react to situations. And I respect her commitment to the character, especially during the spoken text parts, which can be so scary for a singer.
There's a land that I heard of once in a light awake. I got my ticket for the long way round. 2 bottle whiskey for the way. I knew you were trouble when you walked in. So shame on you now. Took me to places I've never been. Don't want no money. I like your beard. Just want those shoes. Ain't no wizard that can save you from the witch of the west side. I'll get you and your little dog too, 'cause there ain't no place you cannot show me your feet.
Being able to portray those two different characters within one composition and do them so well, I think deserves a round of applause. Now we've returned to that one line from the Taylor Swift's I Knew You Were Trouble song. So the original Lyrics. Now I'm lying on the cold, hard ground. And the original lyrics are used in this part where the Wicked Witch of the West is melting and she ends up lying on the cold, hard ground.
I'll get you and your little dog too, 'cause there ain't no place you can't hide. Show me your feet. Show them to me.
Now I'm lying on the cold hard ground.
So clever. Finally, we get to this last part, which I really see as kind of like a coda, where it's just this tail end of the song that wraps everything up in a nice bow before returning to the last part, which we heard at the very beginning of the song, Somewhere Over the Rainbow. I really loved how there were 4 different songs that were used for this one ending section, but they all had similar themes. The theme of this desire to go home. The 4 songs with the thematic material of home are Home Sweet Home by Motley Crue, Home by Chris Daughtry, Home by Philip Phillips, and Home by Michael Bublé. And I love how that all just kind of brings everything to a nice, subtle, sweet ending, but not the final ending until we get to Somewhere Over the Rainbow. And I love how that all ends with what we heard at the beginning of the song. If you liked all that you saw, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below and comment down below what piece by your favorite artist you would like me to do a performance analysis on. Lastly, make sure to check out the description box for ways you can keep in touch with me, get access to exclusive perks, check out the Soprano Notes blog with tons of music educational topics, and or take a lesson with me. I hope you have a good day and I'll see you soon. Bye!